everybody, and welcome to your daily tarot reading. This is for Friday, the 27th of October. It's really nice to be with you today. I'm using the Sacred India Tarot, which I recently got and I really love. If you're an absolute beginner, I wouldn't suggest this deck as your first go-to because it is quite complicated and it uses a lot of other kind of symbolism, which adds a lot of meaning to the tarot. So it's not one of the original kind of tarot decks where you can learn the format for every other deck. Okay, so as every day, I'm going to choose 3 cards here to give you an insight into the day's energy, what you'll be working with, and what the day is about. So I'm going to choose them from within the deck, like this. Okay, wow. So first of all, we have the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Lotuses. Then we have the 10 of Discs, the 10 of Pentacles. And then we have the World. Wow. Oh my God. Okay. So first of all, the Knight of Cups is someone who's trying to feel his feelings and trying to make sense of things. I always say this, but in the tarot, we have the court cards. We have pages, knights, and then we have kings and queens. Sometimes we even have princesses and princes. And basically, the court cards are a representation of how skilled you are working with that element. So the element of cups, which is water, is about the intuition, about your feelings, about emotional intelligence, creativity, being able to connect on an emotional level. And the Knight of Lotuses is really extreme. Either he sees someone and instantly falls in love. He can be a bit of a Romeo and Juliet character, him being Romeo particularly. And he can just fall head over heels and it's all love and it's all instant and then it's over in 2 days and then he's off to something new. It's very, very extreme. On the other side, he can be very reluctant to listen to the emotional truths that are coming through. So for instance, if he's behaving a certain way and the emotions come up, say, this is not what is aligned with your true nature, because he's a knight, he may fight against that. He may say, well, it may not be my true nature, but it's what I really want to do. And that's difficult because the whole point, making your life easier, is about aligning yourself with who you really are, accepting that, because none of us are perfectly happy with ourselves, are we? We all wish we were born a little bit, I don't know, taller, more well off, with more friends, in an easier situation, with our life purpose all mapped out. And there are certain things about life that we have to learn to accept, whether that's your physical appearance or character traits. We all have to do that. So today is a really good time to kind of objectively look at your feelings and to see what drama you're creating for yourself. Because if I'm running around and I'm saying, oh, I'm so lonely, I need someone to connect with, then I'm putting out this frenzied kind of energy where I'm going to connect with someone, but it's not a genuine connection. It's about my frenzy. So you are able to actually see that from a different perspective and get some freedom from it. It's like the gap between a thought that comes in and then the action that follows. Just because you think it doesn't mean you have to take action, and just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. So that's what's happening today. You're looking at your own extremes and you're saying, oh wow, I didn't even realize emotionally this is what I do. And that's what partly why the situation has worked out the way it has, for instance, because of my part in it. A lot of people don't see their own parts in situations. And you know what's interesting? What I'm just noticing, his genital seems to be on fire. So he's obviously very, very passionate. Okay. The next card is the 10 of Discs. And the 10 of Discs is really interesting in this deck. It represents financial, physical security and happiness. It represents the greatest state of bliss when it comes to physical life. But in this deck, it's a sleeping god, and these two people kind of looking after that sleeping god, and it's almost like they're grateful and they realize So this is their house, this is their big bank account, these are the beautiful cars, these are the children, that's their good health, all of those physical things. That's a feeling of security. They have all of these beautiful things in their life because they trust in their higher selves. Doesn't have to be a god of any particular description, but they see the truth. They're not physical beings having a spiritual experience. They're spiritual beings first and foremost who, because of their gratitude and because of their focus on spirituality, have gained so much in the physical world. That's the way it works. When you stop working for money or trying to figure it out in a physical sense and you start to look internally at yourself and you create the inner landscape, we live in a very malleable, kind of adaptable universe. So if you feel sunshine and poppies and rainbows inside, then it's really likely that you're going to create those experiences in your real life. I know at this point it's a cliche, but that's what really happens. So you get a greater insight in terms of how you behave and you're part of it, which gives you a greater perspective of how close you are with your higher self versus your ego, and what direction you want to go. And then finally we have the world. And the world is usually a woman surrounded by this wreath, and she's perfectly balanced. She's covered in this purple sash, which means that she's connected to the universe. She's listening to her higher self guidance. She's seeing herself as a spiritual being having a human experience. And that's why she's gone through all the emotional turmoil. She's mastered it. She's figured out how it works. She's seen the truth of who she is, and that's why she's now able to create really good practical ideas today by looking inward. It sounds counterintuitive. By listening to your feelings, by listening to your higher self-guidance, by listening to the messages that you get inside, you're going to be able to create the kind of life that you want. So there's the opportunity to bring more abundance, prosperity, joy, and love into your life, all of those things, by really seeing the spiritual truth of the situation. And the world in this card I love because it's Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva is at the end of the road. You've got Brahman, Vishnu, Shiva. Brahman is the creator, Vishnu is the maintainer of the world, and Lord Shiva is the destructive force. It's like Pluto in the astrology. Pluto destroys and it transforms things and it gives them a rebirth. So it's the phoenix rising from the ashes. And things need to be destroyed so that new things can appear. So on this day, what is destroyed really, or what you come to terms with, or what you finish, is really a behavior or an emotional roadblock in your mind that's holding you back and that's preventing you from achieving your greatest potential in life. And that is ended for you. The world is the 21st card of the Major Arcana. It's the end of the road. He's learned, it's the fool's journey at the very, very end. And the fool is no longer a fool. The fool has now become the world. Lord Shiva, he knows everything. He's the force of birth and destruction. And this whole day is about transformation. So look at how you're feeling. Look at what you can let go of. Look at what positive things, positive extremes are there. Incorporate those and see how you can take all of your spiritual insights and all of this transformative energy, apply it to the way you see yourself, and then it will make a difference in the real world. I just want to give you an example of this, but I was walking around the other day, and I've been doing a lot of work this year on myself in terms of relationships and therapy and meditation and all of that stuff. And I caught my reflection in one of the shop windows one day. And looking in the reflection, the thoughts that I had about myself were totally different than they would have been 6 months ago. And it was interesting. It was like, oh, wow, I didn't realize the shift had happened. It's not like, someone slips you a note through the door and says, you are now emotionally much better off than you were 6 months ago. But it's these tiny little fractal moments where you either catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror or you sit somewhere and you realize that, wow, I actually feel good about myself. I feel like everything's okay. I feel like the emotional side of me and my pluses and minuses, they all come together. They're all perfect in the way they are. Even if some of them are problematic and some of them are good, that's what makes me. And I get to feel good about that. And by being myself and vibrating my way through life, I'm going to make a difference to this world. Because you're going to leave a spiritual footprint. Not just a carbon footprint, but a spiritual footprint as well. You're going to be remembered for the energy that you brought into this life, or you're going to be felt in terms of the energy that you brought in. So it's a wonderful day to kind of really accept yourself, to just take your ideas and to put them into action, to let go of things that don't work and to expand things that you like and that do work. Amazing. Number-wise, we've got chord cards. So we've got a 1 and a 10 is 11, and 21 is why can't I do this? 11 and 21 is 31, 32. 3 and 2 is 5, and 5 is about freedom. Emotional freedom, spiritual freedom, and the freedom to make changes in your life because emotionally you feel like things are malleable and you can make changes very easily. So if something like that comes into your mind, to make a shift, to make a change, do it, listen to it, don't doubt it, just follow the guidance and it will have a positive financial, practical impact on your life. So I hope you have a wonderful day. If you would like a private reading with me, then please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to order your reading. Please remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's free of charge. And in my personal readings, I use astrology, tarot, and numerology. The astrology gives me a blueprint of your soul. It shows me what your vocational aptitudes are, what your life purpose is, what your strengths and weaknesses are, what's coming up for you in future. I can use the tarot and the predictive astrology for that. And I can look at what's coming up in your love life, in your career, what type of career would be best, where the best place to live would be. That's the astrocartography. Health, spirituality, family, anything at all really that you want to ask about, we can look at. So if you would like a reading, then please visit the website. Have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.